Thank you again for joining us here at Google Cloud Next 2018. Thrilled to have you here, and really thrilled to be announcing and introducing our Customer Innovation Series. As Diane mentioned this morning, we believe that cloud is really a phenomenal and transformational set of new technologies and new capabilities that are available to our customers. But even more importantly than that, we believe that the cloud is really enabling a fundamental rethink of how each and every business and every industry is really working. It really allows you to start forgetting about the infrastructure, forgetting about all of the details of how does this actually need to work, relying on the capabilities that we have in the cloud, relying on the new innovations that we're able to generate, and really think about how does that impact my business? How do I actually transform my organization? And we are, within Google Cloud, investing deeply in industry verticals in order to really make this happen. Whether that is in healthcare, if you saw the fireside chats we had just a couple of minutes ago, we are really deeply investing in the healthcare ecosystem. We're doing the same in financial services. We're doing the same in media and entertainment and gaming, and the same in the energy industry, the same in automotive and transportation. And we really do think that cloud is becoming this catalyst for change, this catalyst for transformation. And even more importantly than us believing it is the fact that we're actually seeing our customers do it. We're actually seeing our customers implement the cloud, implement machine learning, and really get new value out of it, really transform their businesses. And so I'm really thrilled to kick off this Customer Innovation Series by introducing a series of speakers from real global icons. And these icons will come on out, and each one of them will tell you about what they are doing in their industry, what they are doing in their companies to really drive change. And this is a wide range of icons. We have Mike McNamara, who you saw earlier today, will come out and go into more detail about what is Target doing in the cloud. How have they thought about their cloud journey? We will have the New York Times come out and talk about what their journey has been like in the media industry. We will have Lahey Health, the iconic health institution from the greater Boston area, come out and talk about how they are transforming the way that they work in a very secure fashion using the capabilities available in Google Cloud. We will have eBay, the iconic internet retailer, come on out and talk about how they are really pushing the envelope of what they can do within the cloud and using cloud capabilities. LATAM Airlines, the largest airline in Latin America, will be talking about their journey and how they are enhancing their customer experiences using the cloud. And last but not least, Daryl West from HSBC will be coming out and talking about how one of the largest financial institutions in the world is really driving their business forward. And the theme across all of these that I would like to ask you to pay attention to is that theme of business transformation. Not just technology transformation, which is critically important, but really business transformation across each and every one of these different institutions, all of which have all of whom have their own legacy, all of whom have their own history and their own unique needs that they need to meet. So I couldn't be more thrilled to kick this series off by inviting Mike McNamara from Target onto the stage, Chief Information Officer and Chief Digital Officer of Target. Thank you.
I've recently celebrated 3 years at Target. Now, 3 years ago, I didn't know that much about Target, and frankly, I would have been hard-pressed to point to Minneapolis, where I now live, on a map of the United States. But in 3 years, I've learned that Target is a huge part of American life. We've over 1,800 stores nationwide, and 3/4 of Americans live within 10 miles of one of our stores. On top of that, a whopping 85% of US consumers shopped at a Target store last year. Beyond the walls of our stores, 25 million guests each month visit Target either on the Target flagship app or through Target.com. Between our stores, distribution centers, and corporate offices, we are over 350,000 team members strong. And when it comes to brand, well, a quick search of YouTube will surface millions of loyal superfans enthusiastically vlogging about their latest Target finds. America loves Target. Yet despite all of that love, an outstanding team, and an enviable store base, 3 years ago, Target was losing ground. We were dangerously late on digital, and our technology wasn't keeping pace. So what to do? Well, as a business leader, I see my job in 2 dimensions. Firstly, how do I operate today's business as efficiently and effectively as possible? And secondly, how do I create the business of tomorrow as quickly as possible without messing up what's already there? On the one hand, I want productivity and stability, and on the other, I want speed and disruption. 3 years ago, our systems weren't stable. My first Cyber Monday at Target was a fairly miserable affair. Shortly after launching our Cyber Monday offers, we began seeing contention on a key database. And there was nothing we could do save throttle traffic to the site and limp through the rest of the day. Now, as it happens, we had a huge sales day, but we'd upset hundreds of thousands of our customers, and we'd left millions and tens of millions of dollars on the table. By the time my second Cyber Monday came around, we'd moved Target.com to the cloud. And rather alarmingly, yet again, a key database began to overheat. But this time was different. This time, with the execution of a few simple commands, we spun up a new database on a bigger server, transferred all the data across, and redirected the traffic. The whole affair lasted about 20 minutes. Our guests, our customers, never noticed, and our sales kept on rolling in. And that's the beauty of cloud. It offers elasticity and agility. Today, I don't worry that much about system stability. I'm confident that our technology will support the Target of today, which means my engineering team can now focus their energies on creating the Target of tomorrow. Mark Andreessen famously wrote that software is eating the world. Well, today you can wait around until a competitor's software comes and gobbles up your business, or you can create your own future. I've long believed that the retailers with the best technology are going to end up in the winner's circle. And those that don't get the criticality of technology will be, in retail parlance, discontinued. Today at Target, our engineering team is agile and it's re-energized, creating high-value software at a breakneck pace. Developments that only a few short years ago took months or even years to complete, we now finish in days or weeks. Infrastructure that took weeks to provision, we now provision in a matter of minutes. In the past 12 months, we have launched hundreds of new experiences for our guests and our team members. Here are just 4 examples, but all with a common theme. Drive Up allows our guests to shop on our mobile app, drive to the local store, and once they hit a geofence, a member of staff is alerted who brings their order directly to their car. No need to get the kids out of the car seats or trudge through the aisles with a toddler in meltdown. It's simple, convenient, and hassle-free. We've launched Target Restock, promising overnight delivery of all of your household essentials. We created a mobile app that allows our store team to place online orders for guests from the store aisles on the off chance that we don't have the exact product in stock, say the right size or color, that the customer wants. We even piloted a ground-up rewrite of our core supply chain systems, which for any retailer is the equivalent of open-heart surgery. And in doing so, we created an entirely new way of getting goods to our stores. What did all of these developments have in common? The MVP was live in market in a matter of weeks. Now, for someone who's been in this business for around 25 years, that kind of speed is simply stunning. And every week or two, I seem to stumble upon a proof of concept in live or a new production system that a couple of engineers have knocked up in a matter of days. And while they may not all be big things, the combined impact of all of these innovations is quite profound. Google Cloud underpins our speed and innovation. It abstracts all the complexities of the underlying infrastructure away from the software developers, allowing them to focus on value creation. Compute resource is on demand. Infrastructure is just an API call away. As I look into the not too distant future, I see artificial intelligence everywhere. Today at Target, we're using AIs to tackle some of our thorniest problems like supply chain optimization. But we're also using AIs to solve a gazillion everyday little problems. For example, we sell mix and match swimwear online. And we used to rely on photographers to tag their images as being, say, a bikini top or a bikini bottom. Well, those photographers are arty types, and it turns out that accurate data entry is not high on the list of their priorities, and the result, misery. Today, we use a trained AI model to tag the images, and the result is joy. By the way, Google, kudos for TensorFlow. It's kind of magic. There's a lot of hype in the market about cloud and AI. But if you cut through all the marketing nonsense, the TV advertisements, the big billboards at the airport, there is real substance there. And I see that substance every day at Target. Cloud and AI are not the only ingredients, but to make the fundamental change like we did, without cloud, is trying to make grapes. It's trying to make wine without the grapes. At Target, we're operating today efficiently, and we're creating tomorrow with some speed and gusto. Thank you.
Please welcome Nick Rockwell.
Thank you. I'm truly honored to be here today representing the New York Times. At the Times, we've been working with Google Cloud for over 2 years. In fact, we just fully completed our cloud migration journey in April. We moved all of our consumer-facing products to Google Cloud, and it's been a huge win for us on so many levels. But I'm not going to talk about that today. Instead, I have something really special for you. I'm incredibly proud to announce a new transformative partnership with Google Cloud. Today, the New York Times and Google Cloud are embarking on a truly amazing mission. We're going to scan, encode, and preserve our entire historical photo archive, and while we're at it, evolve the way in which the newsroom tells stories by putting powerful new tools for visual storytelling into the hands of our journalists. The New York Times Photo Archive is one of the most comprehensive libraries of visual journalism in the world. It's a treasure trove of historical imagery, millions and millions of photographs spanning from the 1800s up to nearly the present day. It's one of the great gems of the Times, the collective work of hundreds of skilled photojournalists and artists who, through their talents, have given us a breathtaking chronicle of humanity, truly one of the great memorializations of the human experience. These are actual physical prints stored in filing cabinets and using an old-school card catalog system as its index, with the help of a few heroic archivists who somehow seem to know where everything is. I've been in there, and it's quite an experience. The photo archive contains images on every imaginable subject, from science to sports, wars to weddings, protests to parties. It contains portraits of statesmen and movie stars, as well as shopkeepers and children, politicians as well as passersby, snapshots of personalities, lifestyles, and trends throughout the last 150 years. The vast majority of which have never been published. These photographs aren't just images from our past, they are themselves historical artifacts. Each Times photo is marked up like a well-traveled passport. The prints have stamps, dates, notes, publication history, clipped captions, and other vestiges of their travels throughout the newspaper's history, written, taped, or glued on the back. Each image has a story of its own, and preserving those stories is just as important as preserving the images themselves. And so we will capture all of that information those marks and traces as well. What you see here are just a handful of the millions of photographs that are being digitized, tagged, classified, every handwritten note captured and made accessible, made visible through this partnership. But critically, this project is not first and foremost about preservation. It's about storytelling. By making the archive accessible, we make it possible to reach back into the past and tell stories that were left untold. To put the archive and its vast potential in perspective, consider Unpublished Black History, a series that we published every day during Black History Month in February of 2017, built around a collection of never-before-seen photographs featuring some of the most iconic faces in American history. It gave the world a fresh look at such figures as Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman elected to Congress, iconic figures such as Martin Luther King Jr. and James Baldwin, Lena Horne through an incredible story about how Harry Belafonte helped her secure her apartment at a time when white property owners wouldn't sell co-ops to African Americans, no matter how famous or wealthy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar towering over his high school teammates when he was still known as Lou Alcindor. Or Run DMC performing at a benefit concert in 1986, to name just a few. This series delivered a new perspective on our collective story as Americans. It was the labor of love of 7 full-time journalists, and it took over 3 months of painstaking archival research to produce. The archive is full of these stories, but we're limited by the precious time and expertise of our journalists and researchers. So imagine what will be possible with the new digital photo archive. We will move from file cabinets in a basement, card catalogs, and faded hand-scratched notes as metadata to life in the cloud, where journalists will have the tools to access, research, interrogate, and wander through this archive with unprecedented ease and efficiency, unearthing lost gems, making connections, creating stories. Using Google Cloud Storage to store the digitized assets, Google PubSub for workflow orchestration of the digitization process, Google Spanner to manage and index the metadata, metadata parsed and digitized in part by Cloud Vision, all in a reliable and effortlessly scalable architecture, this will truly change the game. It will allow us to research archival stories not in months, but in as little as a week. It will help us scale series like Overlooked, in which we go back and write the obituaries of those who left an indelible mark on history, but who were nonetheless overlooked. Many of them women, such as Charlotte Bronte, the author of Jane Eyre, on whom we never ran an obituary. Or Emily Warren Roebling, who oversaw construction of the Brooklyn Bridge when her husband, Washington Roebling, fell ill. Ida B. Wells, who campaigned against lynching via brave and pioneering reporting for the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight, a paper she co-owned and edited. And Mary Ewing Outerbridge, who introduced the game of tennis to the US by smuggling a tennis net home from a vacation in Bermuda. The New York Times newsroom will bring these stories to life for our readers through the beautiful, emotionally resonant visual journalism that we are known for, and that helps all of us to better understand the world. This work is made possible by the New York Times StoryX partnership team and our colleagues at Google Cloud. It's an initiative that will unlock the past, connect it to the present, and reveal the world's most important untold stories for future generations and for years to come. Thank you very much.
Please welcome Lori Chapman.
Good afternoon. I'm Lori Chapman, the VP of IT Solutions and Integration for Leahy Health, just northwest of Boston. Our Google story is similar to the beloved Jules Verne novel, where the intersection of a determined team, a specific goal, a challenging timeline, and a time in history converged. Instead of around the world in 80 days, we called it Going Google at Leahy in 91. 64, if you don't count weekends, but weekends there were. The challenge was our starting point. For Verne's protagonist, it was the adventure of his reputation riding on circumnavigating the globe in 90 days. Many doubted that he could accomplish such a feat, so of course, a significant financial wager ensued. Our Leahy challenge? to rapidly implement G Suite, a platform that could scale and enable our colleagues, our 15,000 colleagues, to connect and collaborate. Unlike Fog, our timeline was not driven by a wager, but by 4 aging email systems that hindered our connection and growth. That's a big deal when you're serving healthcare professionals who want to communicate and respond in a timely and thoughtful way. This adventure also tested the reputation of our IT at Leahy team. Internally, we saw the potential, and we felt compelled to prove that we could rapidly and successfully implement a major change to one of the most personal applications in the workforce, email. And externally, if successful, we would be the largest healthcare institution yet to partner with Google. And like Fog's financial stake in healthcare, an industry with growing expenses and shrinking margins, our IT investment decisions must be carefully vetted, and the risk and reward needs to be carefully considered. It was daunting, for sure. So the challenge was accepted, and we began our journey. Fog's journey took him from London to India, right here through San Francisco. How appropriate. Our Leahy journey also required us to navigate mental, physical, and virtual geographies. Our goal was dexterity and a digitized workspace, enabling collaboration anywhere, anytime. It was truly an Iliad and an Odyssey, mental and physical. But wait, that's another epic story. Physically, our team supported 6 go-live dates. Big Bang at 50+ locations, spanning 50+ miles. Virtually, our technical team laid the foundation for the G Suite platform. So how did we achieve this bold challenge? Well, here I'll draw some parallels to Fog and his team. At the outset, Fog was portrayed as cavalier, somewhat selfish, obsessed with time, and rigid to a fault. But he proved to be thoughtful, caring, generous, and loyal, the same traits that positioned our expedition for success. Our IT at Leahy team is 100 strong, and along with our core team of 15, they drove the 3 legs of our adventure: project management, technical implementation, and change management. And full disclosure, not all were willing participants. Some were volunteered, and others were voluntold. The resistance, it wasn't born so much as a shrug off, I don't want to help out, but rather it was grounded in their competing priorities and their comfort zones. Most of us felt more comfortable behind the scenes and behind our screens. So during the journey, it was surprising. We found amazing strength in unexpected places. The word cloud shows our attributes, but I'd offer that similar to Fog's team, the 4 that featured here served Leahy best. Caring is the foundation of healthcare, every day. Our team cared, connected, and delivered, for the first time, an enterprise-level communications and collaboration system. The team's generosity and loyalty to the task, to the timeline, and to their fellow travelers never wavered. And our IT at Leahy team proved tenacious. Like Fog, they utilized creativity, ingenuity, and scientific know-how to solve every problem that crossed their path. But ultimately, this is a story about change. Fog made adjustments, whether the circumstances called for compassion or changing course. He did what was right, and the complicating details worked themselves out. For Leahy, the heart of our journey was change management. We named it the Force of 3+1. The Force of 3, creative communications, coaching, and training. And the +1 was our knowledgeable guide, Sada, our implementation partner. Any of you familiar with Dan Heath's concept of change understand both the importance of both the emotional and intellectual sides of change. The elephant and the rider. Well, that elephant was definitely in the room, and we had to acknowledge it, but we were able to harness that beast. We focused on finding the bright spots at Leahy, leveraging what we already did well, shrinking the change, scripting the critical moves, and rallying the organization to adapt, adopt, and transform in 91 days. The result? Our colleagues can share knowledge, empathy, and ingenuity at a level they never had before with just one click. So what's next? Well, Jules Verne didn't write a next chapter for Fog, but it was an interesting time in history. The technological innovations of the late 19th century made the prospect of traveling the world possible. The Suez Canal was open, the US Transcontinental Railway was completed, and railways connected the Indian continent. At that time, despite skepticism, you can just imagine what many were dreaming could be next. So Leahy's next adventure? Well, today, healthcare is in an era of change and disruption. And when we started, we focused on email, calendar, and contacts. But as I mentioned, we made the entire G Suite available, and our colleagues embraced it. So, not to paint too rosy of a picture, we certainly had and continue to have resistance, as you may expect with a change of this scale. Some just prefer the solutions they were used to. But G Suite provides real advantage. It's a workflow revolution. Redesigning workflows is intuitive, and we are really transforming the way we work. Leahy Health's value proposition is to provide the highest quality, lowest cost, coordinated care that's accessible and close to home. IT at Leahy is deeply committed to our mission of delivering reliable, innovative solutions that make a difference in the lives of the people and the communities we serve. This is enabled by our strategy and vendor partnerships, and G Suite is now one of our cornerstones. So in closing, I'll leave you with this image. A great Englishman that the world lost this year. He was a hero of mine, and he was also obsessed with time. Roger Bannister was an athlete, an academic, and a doctor. And like Bannister, on that fateful day in 1954, when he ran the Miracle Mile, I want to let the Leahy, Google, and SADA team know that you threw in all your reserves and broke the tape in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. You made our Google adventure a success, achieving the possible. Thank you.
Please welcome Larry Colagiovanni.
Awesome. I am stoked to have the opportunity today to share a bit about eBay and how we're taking advantage of the cloud, artificial intelligence, and what we call the fabric of commerce to drive innovation in this space. eBay continues to be the world's largest global marketplace. Our mission is to connect millions of buyers and sellers around the world, empowering people and creating economic opportunity for all. We don't compete with our sellers. We are a true marketplace. We offer more breadth and depth of choice to help people shop for their passions and find their version of perfect, whether it's inflatable pink flamingos or new backcountry skis or new laptops or luxury vehicles. We literally have it all on eBay. And no, you don't have to sit through an auction to get any of that. The reality is 88% of what we sell is fixed price, and you can buy it right now. And 80% of the inventory on eBay is new. We have 175 million buyers in 190 markets shopping our 1.1 billion listings. To give you an idea of what that looks like, in the US alone, a watch is purchased every 5 seconds. A camping and hiking item every 6 seconds. A TV, video, or home audio item every 3 seconds. You can imagine the scale of the infrastructure that we have to build to support that, and also the amount of data that we amass on a daily basis. One of the things I'm most excited about and count myself very fortunate to have the opportunity to work on is our eBay for Charity platform as well. We also like to give sellers a choice with that. And so sellers can earmark anywhere between 10% and 100% of their sales proceed to benefit a charity. And we're proud to say that we've raised over $810 million to date for nonprofits in the US and UK. I've worked in the commerce industry for over 14 years, and I have to say it is changing more quickly than I've ever seen it in the past. Advances in artificial intelligence, cloud, and fabric are altering how, where, and when people shop. The technologies are also shifting users' expectations, especially millennials and Generation Z, and driving the creation of disruptive new business models, such as subscription services, direct-to-consumer, and on-demand shopping from the home, car, and mobile devices. Brands, retailers, small and medium businesses alike must both recognize these opportunities and take advantage of them, or risk being left behind. My team at eBay was created to enable us to innovate with these new technologies, move fast, and target new customers without disrupting the experience for our existing ones. eBay no longer wants to rely on users coming to our website or downloading our app. Whether it be on Google Home, in Facebook Messenger, on VR devices, or on the TV, we want to go where our customers spend their time today, into what we call the fabric of commerce. This is one of the many ways we're starting to attract new buyers and sellers to our marketplace. Last year at Google Next, we demoed for the first time the voice work we had been doing with Google Home, helping people find out how much an item was worth. Since last year, we've continued experimenting with conversational commerce and expanding our natural language processing capabilities more broadly on Google Assistant. We're also using our AI to help buyers sift through the 1.1 billion items in our catalog to find what they're looking for, without having to scan through pages and pages and pages of search results, or having to select a bunch of filters to narrow down the results. We don't want people to keep coming back to eBay and every time entering in, I want a medium shirt, I want a medium shirt. We want to remember what your interests are, what size you were, and which brands you love to personalize your shopping experience on eBay and help you more quickly find what you're looking for. With shoppers relying on image search more and more each day to find what they're looking for, we also continue to innovate in the field of computer vision as well. Our billion-plus listings and all the images associated with them have given us the training data to create industry-leading models to predict the leaf category of an image. And since we started using Google's advanced TPUs, we've been able to improve the accuracy of those models by 10%. Not only did they help improve our accuracy, they cut the time it took for us to create a robust model from about 40 days to 4. And with the new TPUs that were announced earlier today with the V3, we're expecting to be able to iterate on those models in just a matter of hours. Taking advantage of the cloud TPUs helps us ensure that our customers see the freshest possible product listings and find what they want every time that they shop on eBay. Our work with computer vision has also enabled us to start experimenting with augmented, virtual, and mixed realities as well. A few months ago, we released a clever solution built on Google's AR Core platform, which uses augmented reality to enable our tens of millions of sellers to select the best USPS flat rate box for items they need to ship. Sellers select a box size, place the virtual box over their sold item, and move it around the item to make sure it will fit inside, helping eliminate the hassle of finding the right size box for shipping. This was one of the first of many innovations you'll see from us in the AR space in the coming year. We've also been hard at work improving the customer experience for those shopping on eBay from China as well. We started hosting some of our infrastructure in Google Cloud in Tokyo, closer to where our customers are today, which helped improve our page load times by over 40%. As we iterated on the experience, one of the biggest challenges we faced was localizing it. While we tried leveraging some of the publicly available translation APIs, they weren't trained with commerce-specific data and thus weren't accurate enough for the customers shopping on eBay. So we started training our own commerce-specific models and built a machine translation service on Google Cloud that's now powering query, title, and description translation on our site. Training the models with the commerce-specific data helped us achieve a 50% improvement in our Blue scores for query translation, as an example. We learned firsthand what a challenge building a localized site for China can be, and how that can hold back some retailers and whatnot from experimenting in the Chinese market. So one of the things that we're doing today, and we're excited to announce, is we're actually making that machine translation service available externally to all third-party developers through the developer.ebay.com program, so that other retailers and startups and whatnot can benefit from it as well. We're starting with Chinese, and we'll add other languages in the weeks and months to come. To close, the world of commerce is undergoing yet another massive round of disruption. The entire ecosystem must recognize the shifts in technologies and behaviors driving the change, and be agile and bold enough to capture this opportunity. Leveraging the cloud, AI, and Fabric are some of the many levers we are pulling at eBay to do just that. Thank you.
Please welcome Dirk John.
Good afternoon. Airlines and technology are no strangers. In fact, airlines have been technology innovators in many fields, like distribution, advanced analytics, or operations research. Let's see how we tackle the challenge today. But before we go there, let me quickly introduce to you LATAM Airlines. LATAM Airlines is the largest airline in South America. We are born from a merger of LAN and TAM in 2012. We today operate the most dense network in our region. We connect you within South America and to the rest of the world. Every minute, a LATAM Airlines aircraft is taken off somewhere around the globe. We bring dreams to destination. We aim for creating the best customer experience for our guests through offering an excellent product, through excellent operational performance, and by taking care of your needs. Accomplishing this mission has been increasingly difficult for us. We operate in an extremely complex environment. We are a multi-country airline in a highly regulated industry. We operate out of 6 base countries, all with their own specificities, regulations, and constraints. And every time we want to create a consistent experience for our customers, no matter from where they fly. We also have huge technology debt. We operate a technology landscape that grew over many years and that was not built for today's requirements. One of our big aims is to create a seamless experience with LATAM in all interactions. And we face an ever more demanding customer. More and more, we serve pragmatic, empowered, digital native customers. These customers value time, they like to have control and options, and they want a good deal. We want to give these customers a great experience too. Our answer to the challenge, going digital. We believe that the best experience for our customers is a digital experience. We are going digital so we can implement an engaging, seamless, and frictionless experience for our customers. To be successful with that, we are building LATAM's digital future based on 3 key ingredients. Firstly, we enable cross-functional work and foster collaboration. The borders of what used to be separate teams in our organization are disappearing. Today, we can only be successful in joint teams. We create a common goal for these teams and equip the teams with all necessary tools to fulfill their task. In many cases, this requires a significant change of the way we work. Secondly, we focus on large and scalable impact. The demand for short time to market and immediate impact is ever growing. We rethink the way we create our digital products to be up for this challenge and improve every day. Today, we have the right tools to be up for this challenge. And thirdly, we leverage data to better understand our customers. We are putting customer experience at the core of what we do. consistently delivering what our customers want from us. Data and data usage are key for achieving this. We changed the way we work, how we look at data, and how we manage data. So let me give you some practical examples of what we are doing and how Google is helping us with that. To foster collaboration, we have worked with Google to implement G Suite within 6 months for all of our 42,000 employees. This had profound impact on how we work together and communicate. Today, we work on the same document with teams across Peru, Chile, and Brazil, while having a video call and discuss around it. Instead of doing slides, teams present their results in Data Studio and give access to broad communities of co-workers. We see how collaboration increases the quality of our results every day. We focus on strengthening our impact. To do so, we have adopted a cloud-first strategy using GCP. This allows us to focus on innovation and value instead of managing systems. For example, creating air approach paths using precise 3D digital elevation models so we can fly efficiently. On the top, you see how we used to fly to Cajamarca, Peru, a very difficult airport to operate, using conventional ground-based navigation. And on the bottom, you see today's picture. Using the new routes we defined, flying completely automatic and with high precision. For the future, we want to continue adopting best practice technology, such as serverless architectures, and moving into continuous operation. We also use advanced analytics to suit our product to our customers. We are applying data analytics for a long time at LATAM Airlines. However, recently, we set up a fully cross-functional team for advanced analytics to accelerate our understanding of our customers and their needs. Being able to run TensorFlow models and using BigQuery after only a few weeks of preparation is only possible because we can fully rely on the GCP stack. This allows us, for example, to provide more dedicated offers to our customers. So what comes next? We will continue to improve the digital experience of our customers every day. This means we will improve the interaction with LATAM through the use of technology. Another big focus will be to further improve our customer insights through our analytics and to be able to offer better products and services. And we will continue to reduce our technology debt to be able to accelerate and to scale. We will continue building the capabilities for an agile, cross-functional digital team. Collaboration and cross-functional work will be normal in our daily operation and work environment. At the same time, we will develop new models of collaboration with academia, with startups, as well as with corporations. And we are looking forward to absorbing the next wave of technology innovations. We believe having the right team, strategy, and partners will allow us to have a successful digital journey. Thank you.
Please welcome Daryl West.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have the honor and privilege of leading a fantastic IT team at HSBC, a team that is at the center of the transformation of HSBC into a simpler, better, faster, and more secure company for its customers. We have an aspiration to be the most awesome IT team on the planet in financial services, and we see our purpose as transforming the world's banking experience. I'm going to talk to you now about how we're partnering with Google to be able to realize that ambition. So the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation is 153 years old, sorry. We're the world's leading international bank. We're present in 67 countries. We have 38 million customers, customers ranging from individuals to small businesses to corporations to governments. And we are the #1 trade finance business in the world. We are the #1 financier of cross-border trade. We're a significant player in the financial foreign exchange markets. So we are a central part of global commerce. We have 2.5 trillion, assets on our balance sheet. But more importantly, we have a huge data asset at the core of the company. And this year, by the end of 2018, we'll pass 100 petabytes of data. And within that data, there's a massive amount of insight. And we need to leverage the tools that we're using now with Google to get that insight to be able to manage our business better. So last year when I was here, we talked about our vision of where we wanted to get to be a cloud-first company. Now, HSBC is no different to most other big global enterprises. We tried for many years to build data centers, provision infrastructure, buy products, and run it all ourselves. And we decided about 18 months ago that we ought to really decide to focus on what we're great at, which is customer experience and focusing on our customers, and partnering with people like Google to actually do all the heavy lifting on infrastructure. So we've moved through this journey with Google over the last year or so now to get to the point where we're going to have this managed service with elastic capacity and allowing our teams in the bank to focus on the data science, the data management, the data processing that enables much better customer experiences. And of course, as we've been going through this journey, we're collaborating with the Google team on the platform. Now, we are a globally, systemically important financial institution, and as you can imagine, in the banking business, it's a heavily regulated business. It's an important tenet of the banking business that you have trust and confidence, the data is secure, the services are reliable, and performance. So clearly, anything we do that departs from history is going to be a close issue with the regulators. So the first issue we've had to deal with here is this list of questions. Now, the regulators, we've spent the last year or so working very closely with them, and given our geographic spread, we have pretty much every regulator in the world is looking at what we're doing. So we've had to invest a significant amount of our time and effort to convince the regulators that moving customer data to the cloud is actually a good thing. And I've taken the position with the industry and with the regulators that the more we do with Google in the cloud makes the industry a more safe, and more reliable, and more robust industry. So we've worked with the regulators and got them to the point now where they're comfortable. They've asked us to assess all the risks end-to-end. We had to take the whole proposition to our managing board and our group risk committee, and we've got them comfortable. They asked us to make sure we covered all the issues around operational control, things like who controls the access to the platform, where will the data be? We're governed by 67 countries' different rules around data privacy and data sharing, so we have to be in compliance with those rules. We need to know what's happened, how we can monitor the logging on the virtual private cloud. And critically, we have to understand how the encryption keys are working, because the fact that the data is encrypted at rest in the Google Cloud is fantastic, but the regulators are requiring the banks to be able to control and manage those encryption keys. And the last thing, and actually probably just as important as all of the others, is how we'll work together. We're a company that's 153 years old. We have a certain culture and a way of doing things, and partnering with a West Coast tech company on implementing these types of new things required a complete change of mindset and approach, and one that required an agile and a DevOps method to get there. So we've done all of these and answered all of these questions, and we're in a very good space moving forward. We've collaborated very, very closely with the engineering team. We formed a joint team just over a year ago to work through the challenges. We've created a cloud framework for banking, which I think will become the standard model for financial services around the world, describing the controls you have to have from extracting your data from your core systems, putting it out into the cloud, making sure that it's encrypted well, making sure that the access is controlled and you have the right logging. All of those controls have been really studied carefully. And through the course of our collaboration with Google, we've seen a modification to the product, an improvement to the Google offerings in the space of customization of roles, regional support. I mentioned the logging for virtual private cloud, and critically, the customer managed and customer supplied encryption keys. So this has all been done, and it's now ready for prime time. And we're going on a sort of a global tour to convince all the regulators that I deal with that this is going to be a better way of running the banking business. So the results so far have been actually quite stunning. A year ago, I stood up here and talked about the various use cases in the banking world around financial liquidity calculations, stress testing, risk-weighted asset calculations that the finance teams have to do, I talked about the risk function in terms of market risk and how they have to run Monte Carlo simulations to calculate market risks. We talked about financial crime and the ability to ingest billions of transactions and look for nefarious activity patterns in those transactions. And we're using the tools now in this platform to be able to identify money laundering activity within our global network. So as we speak, as we stand here today, we now have these two very specific and very important use cases live. We're now able to calculate a global liquidity for a country in minutes rather than hours. And critically, using BigQuery, we're able to run our financial crime analytics 10 times faster with a much higher level of precision and accuracy. So this has been a fantastic outcome for us, and it's really given us the great confidence to actually progress. We have a long list and batting order of new workloads to come over the coming months. So in terms of what's next for our relationship with Google, we really enjoy our interaction with the thought leaders here at Google. The first thing we're obviously going to do is double down on our data agenda. So we're going to complete over the next 18 months or so the wholesale migration of our big data workloads, analytics and machine learning workloads to the Google platform. And only this week we've publicly announced our 7-year commercial strategic alliance with Google as our partner in this space. On data management, interestingly, we have a similar problem to most big companies. Historically, we've not had a great data architecture, and we're working with the Google team to evaluate ways of being able to catalog all of our data and our huge 100 petabytes of data. It's been difficult for us to be able to organize and understand what we have and where it is. So we're working with the engineering team that have come up with some tools, and you may hear about those tools at this event next year. And more importantly, I guess, of all of it is what you heard this morning about CSP and Istio from Urs. It was great to see we had HSBC's name up there when he talked about the announcement of this. We've worked very closely with Urs' team on developing the whole suite of Kubernetes on-prem. That's very important for us that we have a containerization and orchestration engine like Kubernetes available to us to run for our on-prem workloads as we do that migration from on-prem to the cloud over the longer time. So we're very proud of our partnership we've had there with the Google team on applications hosting, and we've defined a new stack for us for our next-gen set of applications that will leverage that suite of tools that Urs was talking about this morning. And in terms of new propositions, we're now developing mission-critical applications for our business. For example, our business banking franchise, which is a huge franchise globally for us across our 67 countries, we're developing a whole new set of customer channels in the Google stack, in the native stack, top to bottom, which just shows our confidence in the tools that are on offer from this great team here at Google. So in closing, I just want to say that we have a new chief executive. John Flint was appointed to our chief executive position back in February. We've refreshed our global strategy, and we now talk about commercial growth being our primary driver. And it's very clear to me and to the executive team that partnering with Google and enabling our cloud journey is going to be a key enabler of that commercial growth over the coming 3 years or so. So I just want to say it's been a fantastic collaboration. We hope that continues. And as our HSB strapline says, together we will thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you to Daryl and to all of the speakers we just had. There's a couple of key lessons that I've been furiously jotting down notes backstage as I've been listening to everybody. And I just wanted to share a couple of closing remarks. What really struck me from all of the talks is how consistent they were in a number of different areas. That every company that was up here, and I would submit that every company really out there has to collaborate better. Every company wants to be more agile. Every company is really turning themselves, if they're not already, into a data and an insights and an analytics company. Every company is obsessively focusing about the customer experience, but they're doing that more and more in real time, more and more for the new consumer and the new customer that's out there that has these changing needs. And when you really boil it down, every company is really becoming, as you can hear from the speakers today as well as throughout next, they're becoming a tech company in many ways. And that means that they are really embedding the capabilities that you have in the cloud, the capabilities you have with AI into the heart of their business, not as an adjunct, not as something separate on the side as an experiment, but really in the heart of this transformation journey that they are undertaking at the moment. And we are really thrilled by the partnership model that we've been able to create with all of these companies. It really is core to our DNA and core to what we are trying to do within cloud, to really view these transformation journeys as partnership journeys with Google and with our partners, the ecosystem, but with these companies that are looking to transform themselves as well. And we're incredibly honored and gratified to have this group of companies come on up here on stage and really describe their journey to all of you. Throughout Next, you will hear hundreds of customer stories like these, customer stories about how they have gotten started in the cloud, how they are collaborating better, how they're becoming more agile, how they're creating better developer experiences, how they're tapping into big data and analytics and machine learning. And I really encourage you to spend the time to go and listen to all of those stories and really hopefully take some inspiration and lessons learned from them. So if you can please just join me in, again, giving a big round of applause for the speakers that we just had, and thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of Google Cloud Next.